there, carnivore hunters. So you've heard my brother and I talking about if you're going to cook game meat is extra lean, and I wanted to give you a little bit of history on how I treated my game meat before starting on carnivore. I shot my first deer when I was 12 or 13 or 14. I don't remember exactly how old I was, but I do remember my dad asking me, "How do you want to process this deer?" And I being a young kid, I'm like, what are you talking about? And well, do you want steaks? Do you want hamburger? What do you want to get out of this? 120, 150 pound deer. What do you want to get out of this? And so I just started rattling some stuff off, and I even remember asking for ribs. And if you're going to get some ribs off a deer or an elk, you're not going to get much meat off that. But it just, as a young kid, you don't know that stuff. One thing I do remember, however, with the deer and the elk meat, when you get it ground into hamburger, I never added fat, ever. I mean, for decades, I never added fat because you grow up learning this false food pyramid we've been taught since we were, knee-high to a grasshopper, that saturated fat's bad for you. So I thought not adding any fat to my meat was just, I get it. This is as lean as it's going to come. And I thought I was eating extremely healthy, eating the leanest meat I could possibly get. So I still have a bunch of deer and elk in the freezer that I've never added fat to. So I've been really struggling with how am I going to cook this and add the fat. And now I've been looking at a lot of recipes to see what other carnivores are doing, and I came across the Carnivore chef. So I am going to be doing his recipe today. I'm going to do it a little different, but he has what he calls bacon wrapped beef dogs. So we're going to roll this out. I got 2 pounds of meat here. I'm going to roll this out into a hot dog shape, and I'm going to wrap it in bacon. I'm going to preheat the oven to 425, and we're going to cook it until the bacon is done. So stick with me. We'll go through this process. Actually, let's just get started. I gashed my thumb today out in the garage, and it was a really deep cut, so I'm definitely using my gloves today, so I don't contaminate the meat or get something in me I might not want. So I prepped everything. The Carnivore chef, Darcy, she's making a lot of noise eating her food. He pre-measured a bunch of stuff into his meat. I'm just going to flavor it to taste what I like my hamburger to taste like. So I've got some salt, some pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder. I'm going to put, I'm not even going to measure it, but I'm going to put about a couple of teaspoons, or tablespoons, of each spice in here. And then I lined a cookie sheet, and I might, because I have 2 pounds, I might want to do one more, but we'll see if we can't get them all to fit on here. So we're going to rip open this butcher paper, and throw this into our mixing bowl. Oops. Some of it got stuck in the paper there. Okay. Shoot. Let's see. So I'm just going to guess here, guys. This is the black pepper. I'm going to put in hopefully a couple of tablespoons here. Actually, for pepper, since it's a harsher spice, I'm probably not going to go that heavy with that. The salt, I will go heavy. I've got pink Himalayan salt here, so I'm going to add a couple tablespoons to that. This is the onion powder, same thing. And then we've got the garlic powder. now, let me grab another glove. Okay, so I'm just going to start blending all these spices in the best I possibly can. This already smells delicious. I've told you guys before, I lost my sense of smell years ago, but I don't know if it's carnivore or what, but I think my sense of smell is starting to come back a little bit. I mean, I can really smell that garlic and onion powder, and it smells delicious. So based on the story I just told you guys with the not adding fat, I've been watching a lot of recipes trying to figure out with this meat that I do have that has zero fat added to it other than what might be in there already from the animal. I'm just really trying to figure out how I can cook these and add the fat. So when I saw this recipe from the Carnivore chef wrapped in bacon, it doesn't get any better than that. I forgot to start to preheat the oven. We're gonna bake at 425. Okay, we're preheating. So the next thing we're gonna do, when the Carnivore chef made this recipe, he only did 1 pound of meat. I'm doing 2 because I want some leftovers when I don't feel like cooking. But he said he would take a piece of meat and just start shaping it into about a hot dog size shape. So that's what I'm doing here. And I ran out of homemade bacon, so I actually had to run to the store today to make this recipe, and got some bacon. I did look and try to find some sugar-free, and I didn't have my glasses, so the bacon I got may have some sugar in it. I don't know. I hope not, but this is what I got to work with. So we have that might be a little bit bigger than a hot dog. So what we're going to do next is we're going to wrap this in the bacon. And if I remember correctly from the Carnivore chef, he said he needed 2 pieces of bacon to wrap these, so I'll tell you in a minute here. I don't know. I think I could get away with 1. Let me try a tighter wrap here. I'm experimenting. I've never made this before. Okay, I'm going to go with a tighter wrap so we can get 2 pieces of bacon wrapped around this. And from my recollection, he didn't use toothpicks or anything to hold this together. He probably set the wrap side down. So here's what we have, Carnivore hunters. I'm going to pause while I wrap the rest of these, or roll the rest of these out, and I'll be back in just a moment. So hang tight, and I'll show you the entire pan. Here we go, Carnivore hunters. I was able to fit it all onto 1 cookie sheet. Each of the beef dogs took 2 slices of bacon to wrap completely, except for this little one. I had a small one left over from the meat. So this was 3 pounds of bacon. So you're gonna need. I didn't quite use it all, but you're gonna need approximately 3 pounds of bacon if you're gonna make this. And while I was wrapping these, the oven came up to temp. It's up to 425. We're gonna cook this. We're going to start at 20 minutes, but basically you want to cook this until the bacon is done. So we'll check back in about, say, 20-30 minutes. And yeah, we'll see how this pan's heavy too. 4 pounds of meat and almost 3 pounds of bacon. I think this is going to be delicious. I'll let you know in a minute. Okay, Carnivore hunters. The timer just went off at 20 minutes and that bacon is not even close to being done. The meat is looking pretty good, but we're going to let this go a bit longer. We want that cooking to be, or that bacon, excuse me, we want that to be cooked completely, so I'll be back in just a moment. Hey carnivore hunters, it's time for the moment of truth. It's been about 40 minutes, so it took a little longer to cook than what the carnivore chef said it would take. Ooh. Ooh. So you can hear that sizzle. I don't know the size of a hot dog, but you can see the bacon is pretty well cooked. I'm going to pull these off and then we'll cut one open and give it a taste test. Okay, I got them pulled off the pan and I picked out this little one. We're going to cut this open and show it to you guys and give it a taste test. Here we go, carnivore hunters. This is the moment of truth. I am going to cut a chunk of this off. A bunch of deer meat wrapped in bacon. I've added the fat back in that I've always avoided. Let's give it a try. A little hot still. That is freaking delicious, guys. Carnivore Chef, thanks for sharing this, man. This is fantastic. I got enough to feed me for a few days here, so give this a try, guys. It is totally worth it. We'll talk to y'all later.